is the one I'm wearing. Oh, guys, I put it on backwards. Just 1 minute, please. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Four Hooks for Loves Knitting Podcast. This is my little YouTube channel where I like to talk about whatever crafty things I'm getting up to, and it's usually knitting, but there is also crochet since that was my first love, and you know, there's other crafty things as well because I like to just try all the things. I mean, life's boring when I don't have new things to learn. So I also like to share what I make. So this is my place where I like to do that, and I hope that you can come and find some entertainment and maybe spark a little bit of interest and joy in trying some things out for yourself. So I hope you've all been okay. I haven't put out a podcast in quite a few weeks. I did Vlogmas in December, and that kind of took a lot out of me, and I also put out a podcast then, which I think got kind of lost in the shuffle of Vlogmas. And honestly, by January, I had no interest. I didn't want to, and I felt like I had nothing really to show. I sort of got in a mood where I wanted to cast on all of the things, but then I wanted to just work on only one thing. So I didn't have a bunch of things to show, and that's okay. I think sometimes we fall victim to the pressure of needing to have content, and it takes away the joy from just the craft and why we fell in love with it. So I thought I'd pop in today because I had the afternoon off, and you may hear some noises because my almost 3-year-old is in the other room playing with his trucks and stuff, so he may be popping in and out. But I had a few minutes and I had a couple things to share. I've got maybe 2 finished objects and 1 whip, 1 acquisition, and that's all. So I think it's gonna be a quick one. Yeah, and you know what, that's okay. That's okay. I'll share what I plan on casting on next, which is gonna be this afternoon. I really have no business casting on something new because I have things that I already have cast on, let's say just before Christmas, and they're still sitting there because I've sort of lost the interest in going back to them, and I don't know why. I don't know. I want something that doesn't require me to like think too much. Yeah, so let's get started. Let's just jump right in. Okay, so by the way, today is Tuesday, February the 7th. And tomorrow's my birthday. So before I left work today, I made sure to tell all my students not to forget that tomorrow is the most important day of the year. They're like, yeah, we're going on a field trip. I said, yes, we are, but that's not why it's the most important day. And then they remembered. Anyways, let's get started. And my first finished object is the one I'm wearing. Oh, guys, I put it on backwards. Just 1 minute, please. That's better. I can't believe I did that. I got dressed in such a rush. I was feeling hot. I wore this to work today, and I was feeling hot when I came home. I took it off quickly. I laid it on the bed, and then I was like getting my stuff ready to podcast. And I went to put it on. I wasn't paying attention. I just threw it on my head. I didn't even pay attention. And right now, as I was talking about it, I went to look for this detail. I was like, it's not here. Where did it go? I put it on backwards. Okay, so I am wearing the Autumn Leaf Autumn League Pullover by 2 of Wands, and the designer's name, that's her Instagram handle, or her business company name. Her actual name is Alexandra Tavel, and this has been a sweater that I have wanted to make. I don't even know how many years now, like since I started knitting. Again, I think it's just one of those things that I always see people make, and I think it just looks so comfy and cozy, and just a simple, mindless sweater. But you know what was stopping me? That I wanted to make it in the yarn, the same yarn that she used in the pattern, which was Lion Brand cotton jeans. And because I live in Toronto, Canada, we don't have that here in our stores, like Michael's or Walmart or anything. We don't have that. They don't bring it in. And every time I would go on the Lion Brand website to order it, I was just always put off by the shipping and the exchange rate and all that stuff. And then one day back in, was it November? It must have been, because it was like a Black Friday sale. They had like the 35 off plus, I think, some sort of discount on shipping or free shipping. I'm not sure. Anyways, it was a really awesome deal. So I grabbed the 5 skeins that I needed, no, 6 skeins that I needed for my size. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it because it's a good deal and I've waited long enough, and I just want to do it. I just want to finally make this sweater, and I'm so happy I did. So this is the yarn that I used. Lion Brand cotton jeans. And the color I used is, I believe it's called Gray Fade. Does it say on here? Yeah, Gray Fade. Color number 150, Gray Fade. It's a DK weight yarn, number 3 yarn. It's really soft. It's really soft. I was so comfortable all day wearing this. I literally just, I just cast off last night. I cast off the neckline last night at about 10:30 at night. So I haven't washed or blocked this. I just put it on this morning and went to work. And I think it looks pretty good. Let me stand up and show you, and then I'll talk about it. It's a little wrinkled because I was wearing it, but I know the hem could use a good steam, but there we go. There's the awesome neck detail. There's the hem, not the hem. It's not the hem. The neckline. What's wrong with me? Where did my words go today? Okay. So I got gauge. I knit this on the needles recommended in the pattern, which were a 4.5 and a 4 millimeter needle. The pattern is free on the 2 of Wands website, or you can pay. You can pay to have a printable version, which is what I like that. I like to have something I can print, because then I like to write on what I'm doing. So I did the 4th size, so that would be the size large. The suggested positive ease, it said to have, it suggests 4 to 8 inches of positive ease. And when I had checked the, I didn't print the page with the chart of the measurements, so I'm going off memory here. But when I checked the measurements, the medium, I believe the finished measurement was a 43.75 bust, I think. inch bust, 43.75 inch bust, and the large was a 48 inch bust. So the medium would have given me about 6 inches of positive ease. Yeah. And the large gave me closer to 10 inches of positive ease. And at the time when I was casting on, I had chosen the large, so I had decided I wanted something with more positive ease. So when I tried this on last night, at first I was a bit taken aback because I thought, whoa, that's a lot of ease. Like, if you look, my body stops here. So there, like, that's me, and there's all the extra. And I think what was, you can see through the light there, like, look how much extra there is of the raglan there, like the armhole depth. And at first I thought, oh, maybe that's just too much, like too deep, but I'm okay with it. I was comfortable all day. It didn't bother me. If I were to make it again, I wouldn't mind trying a medium to see how that goes. I'm in a strange position where I lost a lot of weight in the last 2 years that in my head, I still picture myself and see myself as a 2XL or an XL. So I have a very hard time, even though I know my measurements, I have a hard time believing that those smaller sizes are going to fit me without clinging, because I don't like the clinginess. I don't know if that's common when people's sizes change, to have that difficulty grasping your new size. But that's where I am right now. So I made the large thinking, okay, you know, I won't do the XL, I'll do the large. But I think in reality, I probably should have done the medium, but I am still super happy. The construction was so easy. Again, you just, you know, it was top down. The stitches were simple. The only complicated stitch, and it wasn't even complicated, was the left and right twists for here. Other than that, it was all knits and purls, and make ones for the raglans increases. Yeah, you just knit down, 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 down. Do the ribbing for the hem. The hem you had to do back and front because of the split hem at the sides. And I went to do the sleeves. And then I came back and picked up stitches for the neckline. And then in the end, you do the neckline and then you fold it in. And so you bind off and you fold it in and you sew it down. And I made sure to sew it loose because I don't like a high neckline. So I kept mine, everything I did, very loose. And I'm very happy that the neckline is not up higher. I was worried about that because I saw some photos where it was a lot higher and I really didn't want that. Let me see if there's anything else I can say. If I were to do this pattern again, when it is time to do the hem ribbing and the cuff ribbing, I don't know why, like I just followed the pattern here and I just did a plain like knit one, purl one. But honestly, I think it looks messy. That's the only part that I'm disappointed in. I never do a plain knit one, purl one. I usually always do a knit through the back loop and then a purl one. So like a half twisted rib. And I love the way that looks. I think it really cinches it in more and looks a lot neater. I don't think it looks terrible, but I think it could be neater. But also, having said that, I don't think I'm at a place right now where I will be ripping it back. The bind offs were, oh, that's the other stitch, or new thing I learned was the bind offs were tubular bind offs. And that was new to me. I've never done that before. So I was a little bit nervous, but you know, I watched a tutorial by Very Pink Knits. I wrote down the steps and I had my little instructions beside me, steps like 1 to 6. And I followed it, and you know, after doing it the first 2-3 times, I got it in my head and just followed the rhythm with my darning needle, in and out, in and out. And no problem at all. It was done before I knew it. So I don't really want to rip that out. If it was something like, it was like a regular bind off or something, I would, but, well, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm kind of lazy. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to leave it. But I'm going to make a note that if I ever do this pattern again, I will definitely do that half twisted rib for the cuffs and the hem. So by the time I got to here, I was really debating. I'm like, okay, do I do the half twisted rib, how I like it, or do I do the regular knit one purl one so that it matches what I've done here and on the hem, so it looks, you know, in sync. And I decided to just do the plain, like the regular knit one purl one, so that it matches. But what I did is, while I was doing it, I actually did them very tight, like at the tip of my needles, so that the stitches were quite small. And I think whatever I did, it worked, because I think they're much neater than this monstrosity right here. I think this is so ugly on the cuffs. But I mean, to each their own. I'm still gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear the heck out of it. I love it. I think this sweater is amazing. I love the color. It's super cozy. I love it just wearing it out, like hanging out. I love it with like for a little French tuck tucked in. I'll do a little video and I'll put it in somewhere up here. So that is my finished object. It didn't take me long at all. I cast it on just a couple days before New Year's Eve. And I've been knitting on it pretty consistently. The only time I did it was I had about a week and a half in January that were just really busy, really rough weeks with work and health-wise, that I didn't pick it up at all. I actually just knit on, or actually I just crocheted some granny squares, if I did anything at all. Sometimes I just didn't pick up anything, and sometimes I just slept. So there was nearly 2 weeks where not a single stitch was worked on. So if you take that into account, we're not even into a full 2 weeks of February yet. So it didn't even take a month to knit this, and that was literally just in evenings, really. So it's a very quick knit. Okay. Oh, so for my size, for the large, it suggested getting 6 skeins, 6 balls of this yarn. Each one was, where's the yardage? 218 yards, or 200 meters for 100 grams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had to, so I opened up all the skeins. I used all of them, but so this is what I had left. I used all of them because some of them, like, I wanted to start with a full skein each for the sleeves and whatnot. So this is what I had left. And I just weighed it on my scale, and this all totals 72 grams. So this is almost a full skein. So I barely dipped into the 6th skein, or 6th ball of yarn. So I'd say about 5 1/4 yarns. Now I don't even know, I don't, this is what gets me. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. It's cotton, right? It's 100% cotton, this yarn. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's 100% cotton, in case I haven't said that. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of this, because yeah, realistically, I don't know what I can make with just this amount. I don't want to throw it out, but I don't have enough of it, I think, that I can make another project. So we'll see. I'm not sure if I have anything I can mix it with in my stash, because I don't have any other like DK 100% cotton that's like this soft. Anyways, moving on. My second finished object, actually, this one was finished just before Christmas. Before or after Christmas? Maybe it was just after, I don't remember. I had finished one of them earlier in the month, and then one of them I had picked up maybe just after Christmas to finish up after I had finished doing Christmas presents. Here we go. These are some socks. These were made with a polka dot creek yarn, and it was called Modern Christmas, and the mini was called Amethyst. And these I had received in an advent 2 years ago. It was the main skein, and I had never used it. So I pulled it out and used it. And the reason they look all fuzzy and, you know, stretched out is because I wear them and I've already worn them. So I did my usual cast on 60 stitches. I did a 1x1 rib, twisted rib. No, sorry, not a 1x1 rib. I did a 2x2 rib. And yeah, and 2x2 rib. I do that for 15 rows, and then I do 60 rows for the leg. Did a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset. And then I have a size 10 foot, so I knit the foot until just before the toe, and I stop when it measures 8¼ inches from the back of the heel. And that's when I switch to starting the toe, and the toe decreases. And they fit great. Very happy with those. The yarn is very, very soft. Feels great on my footsies. Okay, so whips. The next project that I am working on. I need to cross my legs. Okay, I have been seeing people make the Ariana cardigan. It's a crochet granny square cardigan. And I have really been wanting to make some crochet granny squares and put them together in a garment. So I will insert a picture somewhere here of the Ariana cardigan. It is a pattern for Barocco. I forget who. It's free on the Barocco website. I forget the name of the designer. Could it be Amy Christoffers? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. So this is what I've made so far. I just started it a couple weeks ago. Really, I just sort of work on them when I'm at work, on my breaks. I make a couple here and there. These are the colors I'm using. This is all some acrylic that I had in my stash. Not acrylic. Where are my words today? It's Lion Brand woolies that I had in my stash. Some I had to top up colors. I didn't have enough skeins of it, but some of them I have woven in the ends already, and others I have not. Okay, so I have the gray, which is called Icicle, the pink, which is called Blush Heather, I think. Yes, Blush Heather. And again, this is Lion Brand Woolies. It is a worsted weight, and it is 80% acrylic, I believe, and 20% 20% wool, right? Yeah, 80 acrylic, 20 wool. So the pink is the blush heather, the gray is icicle, the brown is thrush. And then I am going to use, I don't have it here, but I'm going to use a cream color to join them all when I'm done. But I think that's still far away because I think, if I remember correctly, do I need like 48 squares or something like that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12. So I'm not quite there yet. But I think it's gonna, sorry, I was shaking the camera. I think it's gonna look great. This was my very first one, so you can see the size is not quite the same. This is too small. My tension was way too tight on it. Then I really loosened up, and now these ones are bang on. The size is right. They have to be like 5 1/4 inches wide, and they're perfect. So it's okay though, because I did read a lot of people's project notes on Ravelry, and they said that they eliminated a square from under the arm to eliminate bulk, excuse me. So I might do that. So we'll see. I'm not going to get rid of the square for now. I'm just going to leave it and we'll see. And the hook I am using is the same size called for in the pattern, which is, I believe, is it a E? What is it? It's an F. It's an F hook. This is my Eeyore hook. Isn't he cute? Unfortunately, when I was working on it, I broke off one of the little bows, unfortunately. So I'm gonna try to get some more of these done today. I haven't worked on this in quite a few days because I really wanted to get my sweater done. Okay, that's all of my FOs and my whips. So the only things I have left to talk to you about are what I'm gonna cast on next, and then my acquisitions. So the next thing I'm going to cast on is my Diaphanous Raglan. So I was going to cast this on just around Christmas time or New Year's, but the reason I didn't is because I had put out a poll on Instagram asking which color sequins I should use to combine with my fingering weight yarn and my mohair. I had this white and I had a blush pink, and many people said the blush pink, but I decided on the white. And unfortunately I didn't have enough of the white. I only had 2 skeins, 2 balls, I don't know what you call this, 2 cakes. So I found a place, is it in Montana? Cowgirl Yarns, something like that. And they had these for a great price. So much cheaper than I got them. I got them originally from a store here in Canada, and they were like 2 for $35, which is a lot of money. And the store in the States, I got it for like $5 each. I don't know why people see the need to jack up prices so much. Anyways, they arrived, so I had 2, and then I ordered another 4 just to be safe. So I am going to mix it with my Shibui Silk Cloud mohair, my I forget what this is called, fingering weight. The color is Whisper, Autumn and Indigo Whisper, and the sequins. So I am going to cast that on hopefully sometime tonight. And this is living in the project bag that I made for myself a couple months ago. 80s inspired. I love it. And inside it's pink stars. Can you see that? I love it so much. Tracked down this fabric from a store on Etsy. Look at that. I mean, if you're an 80s baby, it's the best. I have a little bit more fabric left, so I think I'll be making myself some smaller sizes as well. I have a whole collection to use. The next thing I'm gonna do is cake this up because I am missing having some socks on the needles. So this beautiful yarn is by Comfy Cozy Knits. And it is self-striping sock yarn, and it's called The Beat Goes On. It's an 80/20 superwash merino. And there's 115 grams here. It didn't come with a mini, but I think I have this leftover Ken yarn telekinesis. I can't remember if it's an 80/20 or a 75/25. It is kind of plump, so I think it is an 80/20. Oh, my hair is stuck to that. So I am thinking of using this one for contrasting heel and toe. I'm not sure about the cuff, or maybe a heel and no, or maybe a cuff and a toe, or maybe just a cuff and a heel and not the toe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna play with it. I just feel like making socks. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is all through my Vlogmas, I was opening my Advents, and the reason I got my Advent this year is because I wanted to make a Radvent cardigan. Another one. I made one with my Advent the previous Christmas, and I love that cardigan so much, and I wear it all the time. So this year I got, this past Advent, I got the Advent from Dragon Hoard Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations. And I loved the colors. There were many of them that were right up my alley, right what I was looking for, very moody and tonal and like some dark speckles, exactly what I wanted. There were a few brights thrown in here and there, which I'm not sure if they're gonna fit in too well. And I was waiting to see what the final day would be because I needed the full skein from the final day to cast on, because to cast on that cardigan, you need the full skein for the cuffs, because that's where you start from, for the ribbing for the cuffs. And anyways, when I first opened it, this was the full skein. This is the one it came with. And it's a beautiful color. It's just not what I was hoping for the cardigan. It really, I don't feel it matched the moodiness of all the other colors, and I think it would look odd having it go all around the cardigan as the ribbing for the sleeves, and then the neck ribbing, and then the hem. So I was hesitant, and I never cast it on. I was waiting and waiting and hoping I would see something else, or thinking if I had something in my stash that I could substitute for it. And then I saw that Dragon Hoard Yarn came out with the Wednesday collection yarns, and specifically this one called The Monsters We Least Expect. Let me see if I can get in there real good. There is a glare from the window. Hold on. Maybe that's better if I block it. Oh my gosh. It is such a beautiful dark tonal. It's got blacks, browns, purples, grays. I mean, I think this is exactly what that cardigan needs. So this is a 75/25. I think think the yarn that came in the Advent was all like an 85/15 or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it work. I don't think you're gonna notice a difference. I mean, the last time I made the cardigan, half of it was from one yarn dyer and half of it was from another, and they were two different bases. I mean, why am I swinging this around? And they were two different bases, and once they were all in there together, it just looks amazing. So I am very excited to be able to have this to put my Raglan cardigan together. I'm just not going to do it right now because I really want to cast on that Diaphanous Raglan. I feel like I have so many sweaters I want to cast on. I want to knit all the pullovers right now. I've got the Diaphanous Raglan waiting. I've got the Cumulus blouse waiting to be cast on. Oh my gosh, I've got others and now I can't even remember. I've got a ranunculus waiting. I've got this one waiting. I've got the big Flower Power Cardi with the giant yarn that's already been cast on that I never go back to it because it's intarsia, and even though the intarsia wasn't hard, for some reason I just don't want to deal with all the untangling of the balls. Anyways, all right, my friends, I'm gonna leave you there right now. I'm gonna pack up and have a little rest before my kids get home from school. Happy knitting. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, please share with a friend, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. All those things, all the YouTube things, they all help, guys. They all help. And it gives me motivation to make another video for the future. Anyways, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping well. I can't wait to see what you're working on. So take it easy and happy knitting.